Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Laguna Beach Living podcast. I'm so excited to share with you my guest today, who is my father and local businessman, Mo Honarkar. I've interviewed so many people on this podcast, from other local business owners to politicians and people helping our community. And I'm really excited to be interviewing my father because he's doing such incredible things. And a lot of people don't get to have a one-on-one with him. We've heard his story with Billy on his podcast, his story of coming here from Iran. But today we'll be talking a little bit more and focusing a little bit more on Laguna specifically and what his vision is. Hi.
Hi, honey.
Thanks for joining me today. I know you're very busy, so I feel really lucky that I get to talk to you today.
My pleasure, and thank you for inviting me.
So you're obviously the reason why I was super inspired to create Laguna Beach Living, because I felt the same as you, that we have this amazing town, and we have such amazing publications in town as well, like Stu News, that I absolutely love. But that's really catered to our local community. Not a lot of people from out of town necessarily know about it. And I love being able to share with people that are from out of town, what are the great spots to go to the beach? What are some of the restaurants to go to? And I was really inspired to share more about how wonderful Laguna is. And then when we were just talking, you were sharing about this idea of going from good to great and how that was really inspiring to you. So I would love if you told us a little bit about that, because I know you have so many speaking engagements that you do in town and just local groups, but as a whole, the population doesn't get to be part of those special events that you do because, like you said, it's a breakfast club that you're part of, but other people don't get to hear you speak. So I'm really excited for you to share that with everyone.
Of course. Well, first of all, my love for Laguna started back in 1980 when I moved to Orange County from San Diego. Instantly, I fall in love with this town. It really reminded me back in Tehran when I grew up as a young man, how live the town was. So going forward, back in early 2000, we moved, as you know, into Laguna. You were a little kid going
I was
to
so
Thurston,
upset.
correct?
But then I was really happy.
We started our life also in Laguna because before that, every weekend we were here going and using the beach, and we were one of those day trippers, and we decided this is the place to live. So with that in mind, and my years of experience as a retailer, business owner, and resident in town, in observing what is going on in town, I see people like me need to stand up. This is a beautiful town. Laguna truly is gorgeous, is one of the best cities in California. And lately, we see the dynamic of the town has changed. And I was inspired with this book many, many years ago when I run big, large corporation. It's good to great, correct? I'm looking on there and say, it's a beautiful town. It's a good town, but it's not great today. It used to be. It's not. But as they saying, the book says, good is the enemy of great. Think about it. We say it's good, just leave it alone. That means we don't try to make it great. Why not? Why not having a beautiful town, great town that everyone is dying to get into, correct? I mean, lately, because we are not updating the buildings, we are not keeping up with the maintenance, and knowing we have 6.3 million visitors come in town every year, correct? Majority is day tripper. So they don't contribute to local economy. And we do have aged population, aging community, which is amazing, is fine. But I don't see they could contribute to the local economy. I don't see them going to restaurants every night to spend money. I don't see them staying in the hotels. There's no point for them. So now we got these businesses that they do well 2 months a year because of the tourists we have in town. and then the other 10 months, they have no business.
Mm-hmm.
So dynamic of a town has changed. We only have 1,300 hotel rooms in town. So if we need a quality tourist
That
to
contributes.
contribute to
Yeah.
town and pick up slack from locals, well, we need to make the town beautiful. We need to step up.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we don't, and our sister cities do, guess where those tourists go?
Newport,
To Newport, to
Dana Point.
Irvine, to Dana Point, to Newport Coast. So one side, people say, who cares about the tourists? We don't want them in town. Well, I understand,
But they're
but
going to come anyways.
they come anywhere.
Yeah.
No, plus we need the right type of tourists.
Mm-hmm.
We need the international tourists that spend 3, 4, 5 nights in the hotels, the bed tax. They're going to walk to restaurants. They're going to go to art galleries. They're going to go to the museum. They're going to spend money. And all that tax coming in is a beneficial to the town, essential.
Yeah.
If now, then we are stuck.
When I was working at Tootsie's shoe store, we had so many people coming in from Europe every summer. And we sold a lot of shoes to those people. And now not only are they not coming as often or as long, but they're just buying stuff online. So we also have to create those cute boutique hotel or not, well, boutique hotels, but also boutiques that are offering a different, you know, array of things that your regular department store doesn't offer back at home and you can't really get online. But those small boutiques aren't thriving anymore in town and they're all closing, unfortunately. So,
Yeah.
I mean, with rising rent and like, how do you expect how have you heard other people like that live in town that are against the things that you're saying? They're not necessarily thinking about businesses thriving, right? Like the people that are the older aging population that aren't contributing necessarily to going shopping in Laguna, they're not worried about that aspect of the business
Correct.
going down. So what is your response to those people?
Well, obviously they have love for the town. That's hands down. They do have love for the town. And they have this picture of character of the town they want to preserve, which I do too.
Yeah.
They don't want to see a high rise. I don't want to see a high rise. I want to see that character. But there's a fine line there, correct? So let's say one of our project is a hotel, museum hotel in North Laguna. Museum hotel, they started in East Coast. There's a brand called 21C, and they have done a great job. Now we're trying to bring that kind of atmosphere into Laguna, which is we are an art city, correct? It definitely makes sense. And we have room for it. But how are we going to do the design? Now, you got to think about this. For all these years, they have made the code of the city changed because they had influence. And then that influence has created a mess right now. And then city needs to step up, fix it, and nobody's doing it. Now, they've never had situation to fix it because nobody was coming in town and built a new project, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now what we're stuck with is this. Okay, we have a 36 feet height limit, correct? So that means you can only build 3 level. Now, where that land is located on busiest PCH, you can't put any hotel room on the ground level.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we're proposing to have over 10,000 square feet of exhibit hall, which is that's as big as our museum already,
Mm-hmm.
correct? So it's extension. So museum can have exhibit there. We have access to a lot of beautiful arts that UCI inherits, that we can have that display, and many other artists can come in town temporarily for a week, a month, and display that.
Mm-hmm.
So we love that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That brings the right tourists for it. And then we'd say, okay, we're going to have 2 level of hotel rooms. That's all you have, correct? So what I'm trying to do, build based on current regulations, building codes. And with that in mind, and there's limit of 600 square feet of land. For every 600 square feet of land, you can only have 1 room. So now this whole acre of land sitting on PCH, okay? I'm going to example that. Don't take me wrong. I'm not comparing, but if that land was in Chicago or New York, you could have built 100-story
Mm-hmm.
and they have thousands of room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now in Laguna, it's 3 stories, correct? So you're limited on what you can build. So maximum we can build for that land is 74 rooms. That's it. And 74 is very small. It doesn't
Yeah.
pencil out all the costs involved to get this done. So now, which even I agree to 74 rooms, I agree with the height, open space. I'm creating parking, which is commodity in this town, and we
Mm-hmm.
really need parking. So now we're digging down, put a 2 level of parking, which is very expensive. Now the next thing is, well, we don't like to see a block-long building. Okay, so how can I fix that? I can't. Possibly because I can't build underground rooms, so it has
Yeah.
to be above the ground.
Well, so are they saying they just don't like the facade of a block long
Yeah,
building? Or
exactly.
so,
Even though I said, well, where this building is, think about urban design, correct? That's the area that you walk is 7 parts of. We can make it 7 different buildings. They all look different.
yeah, yeah.
So you don't know they're connected from inside. So I'm willing to do that, but some people don't see that. Some people don't want to see block long building,
Or
but
they
there's
don't.
nothing we can do on that.
I think also part of the problem is maybe getting that message out that you are willing to make all these changes, um, and that you yourself don't want to see a high rise. You yourself don't want to see. I mean, I don't even think you yourself want to see a huge block, like long block building that's just like one concrete thing. Like you want to
Correct.
make it different.
Absolutely.
So bringing the community and having them feel like they have a say is means that people actually have to go to these town hall meetings and they don't, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
basically, we create a showroom in North Laguna. We have the design, and we sit down with everyone and trying to get inputs. And unfortunately, a specific group um, decided not to have any inputs when we need inputs. And then when we actually presented the concept review, they're all coming in and basically speaks against it.
what's
So
that
that makes
group's
it
name?
difficult because we're open. We're going to make changes. But if their changes is, okay, don't connect them together. I can't build the hotel is not connected. A good example is Enough Laguna, which is a block away from us. Beautiful location. This is the hotel sits on basically
On the cliff?
boardwalk
Oh,
overlooking the ocean.
yeah.
You got the best view you can have. Okay, the design is so terrible. Okay, the hotel competes with Holiday Inn and the rates. I'm looking on it. So how
When you have
have
a
no
beautiful,
restaurant, very very uninvitable facade.
is that the one where you pull up and it's like parking right up front?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. There's 2 level
On
of
the
parking
hill.
in a kind right by the
These,
the Coast Guard station, correct? It's right on the front
mm-hmm,
by the main beach.
mm-hmm.
Best location you can ever dream to have a hotel. But that's the same thing. Most probably, I'm just guessing this one, when they were built in that, they did the same thing to them. No, you don't want to do this. No, you don't want to do that. At the end of the day, you got a business that it doesn't make sense.
And then it hurts everyone.
It hurts everybody. And local cannot have enjoyable versus I want a hotel that local
Locals
can come
enjoy.
in, look at the exhibit hall, the restaurants, the lobby, you get your meeting room. There's so much hotel can offer to local. But if we all get against it and don't let them to design it right, then what does it do good?
Yeah.
I'm totally against building anything that's not functional. I'm not going to do that because of my 30 years of hotel background, retail background. I mean, just name it, I have experience on it.
Yeah.
And I'm absolutely not going to deal with building something that doesn't make sense. I'd rather not to build it, leave it there the way it is, and hopefully 10, 15 years down the road with a different population, we can change. But if the change is not going to be today, I'm just going to refuse to do it.
Yeah.
Keep it as is.
Yeah. But, a lot of people in town would love to have something like that a part of our community. And I think one of the really amazing things to note, though, like you were at just a second ago, naming off your background and your experience, as one of your first stores were in Laguna Beach, your wireless stores.
Correct.
And it's so interesting. Like I pass by it all the time because I love the stand. I mean, I don't know if that, so first, I don't remember your first store. I was obviously really young, but then I remember living in town and going to the one right by 7-Eleven, right? Right
Yes.
by the
So
stand.
that was actually the second location.
Yeah,
The first location was in Broadway, very small.
I
Then I moved
remember.
it to next to Circle K.
Oh, Circle K. Yeah, that's what it is. So, but then when you guys left, that spot has been vacant for
For
all
all these
these
years.
years.
Correct.
Like, and that was, I think, 2001 or 2002.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to have a store that's been vacant for how long is
Well,
that?
now hear this. So
16, 17
when
years.
this location came available, it used to be a bike shop, and I loved the location. So I went and talked to the owner, nice guy, and I said, I want to lease this. He said, okay, I'll lease it to you, but you have to deal with the city yourself. Okay. So I went into the city. I said, I'm a local business and I want to move this in here. Oh, no, we don't need wireless store here. They're ugly. What do you mean you don't need wireless? They rejected me. So I had to go from design review to a planning commission to force this to get approved. And then they sent me back again to concept review and they made it to design review. They made it so difficult. For over a year, I paid rent and I couldn't be open for business. Not many people can last. And
No.
that's why we have all these empty spaces.
Especially as one of your first stores. How did you make that work?
Well, it wasn't easy, but I got it done, right?
But that shows a lot about the type of person that you are, because I think most people would just quit right away and cut their losses. And I think that it takes the type of person who has a vision and who's determined to be able to, like, that carries on to what you're doing right now, right? You have the museum hotel, you're passionate, you know that it's really great for the community, and you know what it's going to offer. It takes someone who's determined and persistent to be able to build something like that. So it's going to be really amazing once that hopefully happens. And for me to be able to witness that, and other people to be able to witness that. I think also when you talk about going from good to great, the concept is like, when I was younger, I would get maybe like a B plus, and you'd be like, why are why are you happy with a B plus? Like, I know you could go and get at least an A, not even an A minus. I want to see you get an A in class. And I didn't feel necessarily pressured that I wasn't good enough, that, I was I was a bad daughter, a bad child for getting a B plus, but I felt that strive for like always knowing that I'm capable of reaching greater heights. And so that applies to everyone, and to be able to witness and see what we can offer our community. Like, why be okay with just one beautiful contemporary museum? Why not be able to offer that museum a bigger space to showcase more incredible art that our community can then share with others? I mean, California local artists that can be benefiting from this space. And as a community, that's what we stand for. And not just this space, then the Hotel Laguna and what we're able to create with that. And it's literally been run down, and people are okay with it just staying that the way it is and just opening its
Yeah.
doors. But really, we need to have an iconic hotel and community space for people to come to, that people will remember when they leave Laguna. Oh, I really enjoyed that. I
Sure.
really enjoyed learning about the history of all the types of people that came to this town before me. Yeah, just so many things that we have to offer. And I just love that idea of good to great. But I think it takes someone who's persistent. And so what I'm curious about is, what are some of the things that you can share when you get down? Because even being that person that is persistent doesn't mean that it prevents you from feeling sad or down, or like not knowing if you're going to be able to get to that point. I mean, you were just sharing,
Sure.
like, I don't know if I'm not going to build a hotel that's not functional. It needs to be the idea of business is that it's a beautiful exchange for everyone involved. And so you obviously want to see that aspect of a business exchange. But what are some things what are some times, like, share with us your vulnerabilities, right? Like, what are some times where you felt like, I don't know if I can make it anymore? Because I think people in town don't see that side of you. People in town see a guy that's run a huge corporation who has who they think has endless amounts of finance money that he could just spend for the rest of his life and be okay. And like, that's not how business works, no matter what. Even if you're Mark Cuban or whoever, no one in their right mind is going to do that. And no one can do that.
Yeah.
So like, share a little bit about that.
Of course, of course. Well, I'm going to start you with this. Hotel Laguna has been a most beautiful, iconic building in town. When you're looking, it has been there 100 years. So we have pictures of the town 100 years ago. Uh, So what inspires me looking in the town and see all these little cottages, tents that people live in, correct? And here's a hotel built 100 years ago, which so iconic. And today world, you can't even duplicate that. How did they do it? It's a vision, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, hotel is a landmark. You built for future. You don't build for now. You build for many, many years ahead of you, correct? So that's what these people did. That inspires me. So I've been going to that hotel for many years, having breakfast right by on the patio by the
Mm-hmm.
ocean, and looking out and say, why there's nobody here? Why people don't come in here? So see all the flaws that the place had. So now I'm seeing, okay, I watched the previous owner or operator practically went out of business. Why do I want to reopen this and go out of business? So people say, oh, when are you going to open it? Well, there's a reason it was shut down because it needs to be redone to today's world, what people want. You know, the place had the lobby, wasn't even 500 square feet.
Yeah, smaller than this office.
Today's hotels
Mm-hmm.
you go, it's all about lobby.
Mm-hmm.
It has a very small room. It's okay. A lot of them can live with it because if you provide a lobby that people die to be there hanging out, have their meetings, have coffee, have a bar, have a restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
then
Your
hotel
room doesn't
room is the only
matter.
place to go sleep, correct?
Yeah.
But this hotel didn't have either one. You don't have
Mm-hmm.
a nice room. You don't have,
A nice, yeah.
lobby. Yes, has the ocean, but yes, you
But
need
even
to
with
bring the right people.
yeah.
Anybody can go in the ocean. So what I'm trying to do is I'm proposing to fix that problem. Okay, that takes time because it's not just the city; it's a coastal commission you got to work on. Correct. Now, on top of that, the people of the city, Nikki, 8 out of 10 people, 9 out of 10 people, they call me. They're telling me how much they love what I'm providing and doing for the town. They're appreciating that. Here they are run to few people in town, old timer. They're nice, but they don't see that. They
Well,
feel like Mo is here to destroy the town. And I said, judge a man with what he has done.
mhm.
Okay, talk is cheap.
Well, I
Okay.
mean, we got
So I
chased
said,
down
yeah,
one
I said,
time.
okay, have you been in a pageant of the master? Yeah. Have you seen Taro restaurant? Yes. Do you know what was looked like before? Yes. Well, what do you think? Oh yeah, looks nice. So they don't give you as much credit they should, correct?
Hmm.
Because I know inside they know what I'm talking about, but it's hard to earn the trust. Then I say, across the street, there's a shopping center, festival center. It was vacant 95%. There's only 2 tenants there. For years. For years, city tried to buy this. Anybody tried. They failed. I met with the gentleman who owned it, and I said, what's going on in here? He said, yeah, I hate tenants. They're paying the butt. I said, well, then why you own a shopping center? Well, obviously he
He
has
inherited it.
inherited.
Yeah.
So he had not much expense on it to be worried about it.
Why was he holding on to it for so long and didn't have
Well,
anyone in
because
there?
when you have some trophy real estate, what can you replace that with? It's
Yeah.
very difficult, correct?
Yeah.
Even though you're not making money on it, but you're not enthusiastic or in debt like me to to make money because I
Yeah.
got to pay the bank. So, make the story short, we inquired that piece, and within a year, we not only is 100% full, people enjoy to come in that shopping
Yeah.
center. So, what I'm bringing this example is this is how you judge a man with what they have done, correct?
Mhm.
I could talk about it. Talk is cheap. Nobody believes it, right? So, look at it. Royal Hawaiian, another thing, was closed for 4 years, correct? Even though it's part of a project for redevelopment, but we didn't leave it the way it was, correct?
Yeah.
We said, let's bring a life into it. Has never made a dime for me, and
Yeah.
I'm sure it's
None.
not going to do,
The
but
opposite.
is a contributor to the economy, correct? Because, here somebody is running it, people coming in to spend money, tax money comes
People are
in.
employed
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yeah. There's a
So
lot.
those are things that I like, at least people in town, group that we're talking about, to
See that.
judge me with and say, you know what? How many cities they have that opportunity that a local guy stand up and say, let me fix this issue. In fact, join me. I don't want to be lonely wolf in here. I want people to join me and say, what can we do together?
Yeah.
I was in call with another radio station, and I got this call came in. They asked me, "How about the movie theater? When are you going to buy that and fix that?" Well, I love to, but limitation. There is a limitation how much time you have and resources. But I'm willing to help if other people just stepping up,
Yeah.
correct? So we can get together and fix it.
Yeah.
Okay. There's obviously something is wrong. There's obviously businesses are closing, and they just want to get out.
No one does. I
Why
mean,
Tommy Bahamas closed?
yeah.
Beautiful place. They've been there 10 years. They already paid for all the tenant improvement. So when you have that already earned, the rest, whatever you do is a profit. But they walk away right after what,
Right when
where
their
the
lease
lease
was
was
up.
due. So they renew. The best location. I don't think there is any corner in Laguna is better than that corner as far as the foot traffic, correct?
Yeah.
But they failed. There's a reason. Because the foot traffic you see there is a day tripper. And the day tripper are not contributing. They're not going there sit down, correct? So those are the issues the town has. We need to address that. We don't have enough parking. Okay. Now, day tripper doesn't care. They park anywhere they can
And get
because
in.
they don't care. They're actually going to go find some free parking so they don't have to pay.
Yeah.
Versus local or the tourist that wants to spend money, they want service. They want parking that they can, some attendant take their car, or they can just park and walk to the restaurant they want to go.
What are the people that are against offering more parking? What is their argument? Because there are people that I've noticed. So I try and obviously I'm not super involved in these projects because as a family business, it's nice sometimes to not be totally involved. My sister is involved on a day-to-day basis, but I've seen her respond back to people because they don't want more parking.
No, because they say if you put more parking, more people will come.
And those are the same people that aren't worried about the fact that there are business owners that are suffering
No,
every single day.
actually, not only that, when I bring up saying, we got to help the local businesses. Oh, we don't care. They don't live in town. Well, they can't afford to live in town. It's $2 million minimum is median price home. Not many of this mom and pop can afford to stay in town, so they have to live in sister cities close by. Then we said, okay, not only we don't care about that, we don't want to have inexpensive or lower price real estate built in here, which is condos, correct? We don't have much condo. We don't have much small apartments. No, we don't want that. Then I say, okay, why don't we get this road, 133, 4 lanes, so they can live in Aliso Viejo, they can live in Del Toro, Lake Forest, and they can commute. No, we don't want that. More tourists would come. Tourists comes anyway.
It's just a pain now.
That's why it's
Yeah.
summertime we have a hard time to hire staff for our businesses because
'Cause
they
they
don't want
can't
to
make it.
spend an hour in traffic to come, okay, an hour to go, that's 2 hours, and no place to park their car. How do you want to do that?
Mhm.
Very difficult to fix this situation unless everybody let the city manager,
Do their
and
job.
city councils to make a decision and fix it. They can fix it. But problem is anything they want to do is a lot of people there screaming. Well, wait a minute. Then why we are electing city council? There's a reason, correct?
So that they
Once
can do
we
their
do,
job.
we need to
Yeah.
stay outside. We need to let them to make a decision. And if they did a bad job, next time, don't elect them,
Mhm.
correct? But
Yeah.
we don't do that. As soon as we elected city council, now we are starting bombarding them. And if they want to do something, they're going to say, okay, forget it.
So these city council meetings, they get really emotional, like you're mentioning, for a lot of people. But then I've also found that there are so many people that can't attend these meetings because, like for me, for example, I want to go attend, I want to go support, but I have a child at home. So I'm a new young family. Like we're not just going to leave our kid with anyone and come to these meetings that last sometimes until 1 or 2 in the morning, right? And
Correct.
then there are other business owners that can't make it because the only time that they have for themselves is the evening to be with their families. So, who are these people that are really making the decisions for the town or preventing our community from moving forward?
Well, unfortunately, there is 30, 40 same people for every one of this function. They come in and stay on the line to talk. Now, somebody else want to come in and talk about your project. Okay. Remember, people are busy in life. Okay. Positive people, they're working hard. They don't have time. Okay. Let's move back a little bit. Okay.
It's like
You
real
are
life Yelp.
you are successful in your life and your business. Why? Because you spend 8 to 10 hours a day built in that business. I am successful because I spend 8 to 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. Think about how can I fix things, make it better. They are successful because they spend 8 to 10 hours a day to see how
Prevent.
preventing things.
Yeah.
They're successful too, correct? But they don't know what they do is wrong. Nothing wrong. I mean, this is their idea. But if they think what they're doing is actually long term going to destroy your town, they wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
This good example is San Francisco. In 80s, I had the opportunity to travel to San Francisco a few times. I had a friend who lived there. I go visit. It was the most beautiful town, clean, beautiful. Today, you don't even want to go there.
Hmm.
Okay, it destroyed. It is destroyed. I am afraid the same thing going to come in here.
With the homeless
Well, it's
situation,
not
or
just the homeless. We basically preventing the right people in town, and guess who is going to stay?
Mhm.
The people that they buy a bus ticket, they show up in here, or other cities don't want to spend money, take care of the resident. What's going to happen? They send them in here. The more you care, it's the best weather you have, correct?
Mhm.
More people are going to come in. We are responsible for our own residents, nothing more. Okay? Any other cities need to step up.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah.
Why we have to do that? It doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
And I want to talk about that a little bit. Like some people might not know. So if someone ends up, so I'm obviously, as you know, and you are too, really passionate about doing something about the homeless population
Mhm.
and helping them. And I think that I used to think, okay, let's just do whatever we can to help, like support them, whatever they need. They don't need to get sober. They don't need to, that's a really difficult thing. Let's first give them a place to stay and then they can find, sobriety and then get a job and then find a place to stay. But the way that we've been treating them in San Francisco, in Seattle, in Los Angeles isn't working. And that's kind of this idea of like permanent supportive housing, which isn't necessarily the right way unless someone is truly disabled, because it's not giving them the dignity of creating their own life. instead of supporting them for a short period of time, we're just saying here for the rest of your life where you're not capable, you're not smart enough, you're not capable of creating that. So we're just going to do this because you're not able to do that, which I don't think is right, because I think every single person is capable of creating the life that they want if they're supported with the necessities for a short period of time. However, in Laguna, what's happening is people are getting bused down here, getting sent here somehow, or ending up in Laguna. And then Laguna as a city is paying, right, for them to go home. Is that what's
No,
happening?
actually, unfortunately,
For a
we're
period of
not.
time, we were, I thought.
So what we do is we take care of them, which is a good thing. But to me, it has to be temporary.
Yeah.
To me, you observe them for a month, you house them, you give them food, and you monitor them. Okay. If they have family and they get better, they can go back to their family. If they don't, and they're looking for a job, we need to help them find a job.
Mm-hmm.
They have to know this is not permanent. Now, there are cities of them, they have mental issue. Okay. So those are the ones that government need to step in. And they're doing that right now in Orange. I've been talking to the supervisor. They built in a facility for them. And once that is ready, which should be pretty soon.
A mental health facility?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So they can go back and live there, because that's the only way we can control, correct? We can't just leave them in the street. You know, there are some of them that coming in because our hospital has some extra room. They drop them there, and then after a month, when their insurance is basically stop paying, they just throw them on the street. They don't take care of it. They don't take them back to the city they came from and figure out how we can fix this.
And
Because
then they end up
now we're making for a lot of our businesses, because they're hanging out outside of those doors, it become an uninviting place, correct? And a lot of people are scared. They just don't go there.
Yeah.
And then before you know, then the right people that we need them to come in town, help our local economy, they just won't there.
Yeah.
They just won't come. And these are big no, because then business is going to close one after one. What are we going to do?
Yeah. So how do you stay positive amidst all of this drama in town and all the people that are coming up against you? I know you say most of the time people are supportive of your projects, whether they can make it or not. And I'm sure that gives you the encouragement to keep going. But what are some other ways you stay positive? Because I think that helps everyone, even if they're against you. I think every single person can learn something from you and apply it in their own life. And so I'm lucky that I get to call you my dad, but I'm curious still. I mean, we don't necessarily talk about this stuff that much. So I'm curious.
Overall, I'm a positive person. And I feel like I shouldn't change because few people in town don't like where I come from because they make racial comments. It doesn't bother me because I've been here 41 years. And I always say, I'm American because I choose to be American. I wasn't born in here by default. So with that in mind, it doesn't bother me. What it bothers me is people that they know what they're doing is wrong. They know that. But for their own goods, they're doing that, correct? Those are the people that to me, they're cancer and they need to be dealt with. But other people, if they're, you sit down with them, you work with them, you show them why you built it. One of the accusation is, why more Honarkar doing all these projects? I don't want to do it, but I get called daily. People call me and say, please come help us in here. Can you buy this? Can you do this one? I mean, I can retire right now. I don't need to work.
I know.
You don't need to work. My grandchild doesn't need to work. But I do because I promote that. Nothing is free. So yes, I keep myself positive. I think I'm very close to get approval through normal channel to get this project started. And then once one after one, these be built, and people see the changes, they know. Just like Montage. Montage went through the same thing for years,
But it took them how long?
because those little group, they thought, oh, we don't want it. But they don't know the entire town was with it. And they threw that for, decision through election. And guess what? Twice they won, correct?
Wow.
So, it's so unfortunate that we have to go through that.
Would you rather go through do you think that if your projects ended up that way, would you rather that happen?
Well, I don't want to waste time.
Yeah.
If that's what it takes, that's what it takes.
How long does that take?
Probably a year or two. But I've been working on this project since 2015. So already 4 years I'm working on it. People think that just started last night. That's not true. There are some of them, like Hotel Laguna, I really want to get this open, help the town. But it's unfortunate some people say, oh, yeah, if you want to open the hotel, we're more than happy, but don't touch the rest. Well, I don't want to fail. That failed, okay? Take this message clear. That failed.
Yeah.
And I don't want to open another place that it failed before. I want to change it. I want to fix it. Make it sure it's going to be a viable business. So I think majority of people are with us. You're going to see that. And we've been doing a few concept review. We're getting the message changes that planning commissioner want. We have went back and remodel or we haven't built the redesign based on improvement suggestion that we got. And we're ready. I think next year we should be able to see all the approvals, and after that, start the construction.
So is that what keeps you going?
What's that?
Is that what keeps you going?
Oh, yeah.
Staying positive?
I'm looking on positive side of it and get this going.
Is there anything that you want to share with someone who might have questions? Like, how can they contact you? Or if anyone wants to support you in taking a look at design and whatnot, is that all done in the showroom?
Sure. So obviously we have a showroom in North Laguna, 345 North Coast Highway, next door to Royal Hawaiian. My email is pretty easy, mo@lagunabeach.com. So we have lagunabeach.com site, which is, thank God, that was available. We got it. And all you have to do is send an email. And, hey, show your support. Either emails to us or rather to be actually to the city, to the city council, planning commission, city manager, building department. Anything you can do will help. Sitting and doing nothing does not help. So please, let's just stand up. We all have love for this town, and let's work together, and we can make this the most beautiful place on earth.
Thank you.
Thank you.